All right.
All day.
Open homes versus private appointments. What should the buyer look for? Why are there open homes compared to private appointments? Stay tuned for our discussion on the matter. Where's the link? Oh. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Morning Minutes. Myself, Michael, and James talking about private inspections versus open homes. When do they apply? As a buyer, what should you want to do? If you see an open home, should you ask to do a private appointment? James, good morning.
Good morning, Michael. How you going? Interesting one today. Interesting one every day.
It is. I think it comes up a lot with the buyer where they may think to themselves, well, why do I only have Saturday to go through a property? I want to do it privately. What are some of the factors, like James, what are some of the factors why a property cannot be shown via private appointment that you've experienced?
Yeah, so generally speaking, the usual thing that will stop the agent from being able to do that is just it's a tenanted property or it's owner occupied and they're working from home. There are all sorts of reasons why even the owner might not want to give you access throughout the campaign. So yeah, you just have to speak to your agent and see what the situation is with that individual property, and give you a bit of a better idea. But I suppose really it all comes down to the buyer, the level of urgency that they're looking to purchase within. Are they passive? Are they super motivated, looking to do a deal as soon as they can? And speak to your agent and then help to work it out. Not just go to your open homes passively, not ask questions and then miss out on opportunities. So there's a lot of things you might have to consider.
Yeah, because a lot of people, they just think it's as simple as opening the door and just walking through. Why can't we go through all the time?
Yeah.
But most of the time there is somebody living there. It is their home. It is their private space. It is their safe space. And also a lot of people, as you can imagine, your home's not always spotless. Your home's not like, I know, like, especially for my parents, whenever anyone comes, it's a full house clean. And it doesn't mean you're living messy or like a pig all the other time. There's that a lot of people believe how the property looks is the representation of themselves. And that can't be always perfect, just like we can't in our life. There could be dirty dishes, a few clothes on the street, not on the street, in the room, or going in the laundry. So for some people, it is quite a big thing to invite people in the home, and they like it at the same time. They've got time to prepare, clean, put personal things away. So it can't always be done straight away. Can we have a greater, and then good morning, Mark. So that's where a lot of time it is a private appointment. Also, an open home, we find in the sort of the buying process, open homes are great to weed out what properties you like. Like we've always sort of said on the show, you may need 5 or 6 properties to view before you know which one you like and the value. Now, a Saturday is a great opportunity to get through as many properties as you can, shoot through them, and then arrange then you can go from a short list. Because think about it this way, like James, you're looking online, you see maybe 10 properties you like, then you narrow that down to 5 that you inspect, and then there may be 2 that you really love. But let's face it, an open home can be frantic. There could be 10, 20, 30, 50 groups there. You've only got a few minutes. You're running late to the other one. You've got maybe your brother at one property, you're at the other. It's quite a frantic day. So a private appointment can work really well after the Saturday, potentially on Sunday, like when you've narrowed it down to 2 properties. So what would you look for in a private appointment, maybe before making an offer, but also narrowing it down from those 5 properties? Should you do a private appointment on all of them, or just sort of narrow it down? And what should you look for?
Yeah, I think it's obviously worth everyone's time to spend as much time in each property as you can, or go to see as many as you can, so you can narrow down that list. But at the end of the day, you might be able to go to your open homes to be able to see the volume, and then you isolate a couple of them, and then that's when you say, right, now I'm serious. these are what I'm looking for. I know what I'm trying to find. And then you can sort of start to ask the agents about the questions about the process a little bit more intimately, a bit more on that one-to-one level where you can get all of your questions out. You're not rushed, you're not confined by time, and you don't have all of these other people around you. Now, from the open home perspective,
you can do the little things in that private appointment. Measure the fridge, look how big the kitchen is. Like a property is obviously going to feel different with just you in there than 20 people in an open home.
Yeah, and you don't too often see someone when there's 30 people in an open home or 20 people getting their tape measure out and measuring the fridge, because you look like a bit of a Fruit Loop at the end of the day doing that. So, you want to be able to do this on your own time, take the stress away, not be amongst the crowds. And again, going to the open homes is a good thing because it gives you a sense of urgency for how many people might be there. If there's heaps of people coming through, it gives you an idea, maybe I will have to move faster on this one, rather than if you just immediately go for the private inspection option and you manage to arrange a time outside of the normal hours, you might not have a clue unless you have good dialogue with the agent. How much interest is in that property? Are their offers down? Is it likely to go soon? And often you might miss out on opportunities because you're waiting for a private inspection time rather than going through with the crowds earlier on. You're waiting for a little bit later to do it. So, yeah, it's a bit of a double-edged sword in a couple of ways.
Yeah, it's key what you just said. They're having a good chat with the agent, because if you think of the agent's role on that day with the Saturday, they're one looking after the property, but also trying to build a connection and rapport with the 30 people through the property, get their details, short, sharp conversations, sort of in their eyes, trying to weed out who are the hot buyers, who to deal with. And in a 15-minute period or a 30-minute period to deal with 30, 40 buyers, there's not any real time for a buyer to have a real deep conversation with the agent. So it's very important to maybe do a follow-up call with the agent Saturday night after they're open, Sunday or Monday, or even when you book that private appointment. And as you said, you can drill down on, is the property got an offer on it? How fast do I need to act? What's important to the owner? Is it price? Is it settlement? Is it exchange today? There's a lot of factors that having that second meeting with the agent and also with the property can really, really open up.
Yeah, for sure.
I think that's
always expect you to keep talking.
Yeah, got to fill in the time. But I think in private appointments sort of gives a bit of an insight to why they're not always available. Like an agent loves to show the property all the time, but logistically it's not always possible with tenants and with buyers, because it's sort of like an occupant of the property. Like if they sort of, a lot of the time, it's beautiful when it's vacant. You're in and out. You could be showing 3 private appointments throughout the day, one at 11, one at 5, one at 9 o'clock. But if you imagine if you live there, James, a lot of people feel like once they open the door for the private appointment, they're always on their toes. So, but we work towards it.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to add on to open homes versus private appointments? Any tips or tricks?
Yeah, again, just even asking the question, is it a vacant possession? Is it owner occupied? Is it tenanted at the moment? And that'll give you an idea of where the agent is also coming from in terms of timings and stuff like that. So out of the 3, which is it? And that will help you to work out, the level of urgency you need to put forward to get in there yourself. If it is vacant possession, hopefully the agent will take you through any time. As you said, they want to take you in as many times as possible or as quickly as possible, as that's obviously best for everyone. But there are different scenarios. It's not just all about the purchaser at the time coming to look through the doors. I think it's that little bit of backstory or context behind it as to why the decisions are being made. So, ask little questions. Always, I think that seems to be my reoccurring advice. Just speak to your agent, ask them these questions. Don't just go in there blind, leaving inquiries and then not following it up. Yeah, it's probably the worst thing you can do. And also, if you can't get through it, then most likely other buyers can't get through the property as well. I know some buyers panic, but I've got to wait till Saturday. I've said it to a few times, no one has access. So no one's seen it, no one's going to see it. I'll get you through as soon as I can. And that can sort of reassure them as well. What's better, Mark? Which is better for a buyer, private appointment or open? Open, well, it depends. If you can't get through, then sometimes open home's all you've got. So you make the most of it.
But obviously a second inspection is very handy to do the finer details, because the open home can be 15, 30 minutes. The agent's got to go. It's only booked in that time. So, but a lot of the time that's all you need. I've got many sales we've only done an open home and they've seen what they need to see. So it's not saying it's mandatory to do 2, 3, 4 inspections. Actually, most of the time, if I do more than 2 inspections with the buyer, they're not the buyer who buys it. So,
yeah.
All right.
Fair
Thanks, everyone.
Right,
Back
off to a private inspection.
Same here. Cheers, guys. Bye. Thanks, James.
Good on you.